The world had never seen a man quite like him, a man whose words could hypnotize millions, whose dreams would drown entire nations in blood. Adolf Hitler, the name itself has become a synonym for evil. But he wasn't born a monster. He became one. This is the story of how an artist with broken dreams rose to rule a nation, and how his empire of hate burned itself to ashes. He was young once, thin, poor, and full of ambition. In the cold streets of Vienna, Adolf Hitler carried a portfolio of paintings, hoping to be accepted into the Academy of Fine Arts. Twice, he applied. Twice, he was rejected. They told him he lacked talent. And so, the boy who wanted to color the world began to darken it instead. He lived in homeless shelters, selling sketches to tourists. Each rejection, each humiliation, festered inside him. He began to see enemies everywhere, especially among the rich and the powerful. Slowly, poison seeped into his mind, the poison of hate. He blamed the Jews, he blamed the government, he blamed anyone but himself. And that hatred would one day change the world. When World War I began in 1914, Hitler found a new purpose. He joined the German army, a new identity, a new uniform, a new hope. In the trenches of France, under fire and rain, he found belonging. He wasn't a leader then, just another soldier, delivering messages under gunfire. For bravery, he was awarded the Iron Cross. But the war that gave him meaning ended in humiliation. Germany lost. The Treaty of Versailles forced the nation to its knees, stripped of pride, land, and dignity. Millions of soldiers returned home to hunger and despair. And among them, a bitter, angry man who believed his country had been betrayed. That man was Adolf Hitler. In the broken beer halls of Munich, politics brewed like storm clouds. Germany was chaotic, riots, revolts, inflation. People were desperate for hope. And then came Hitler, not as a soldier, but as a speaker. He joined a small nationalist group, the German Workers' Party. It was insignificant at first, just a handful of angry men shouting in beer halls. But when Hitler spoke, something happened. His words weren't speeches, they were fire. He shouted about betrayal, purity, and the enemy within. Crowds grew larger. The movement grew louder. Soon, that tiny party had a new name, the National Socialist German Workers' Party, or Nazi Party. And Hitler was its rising star. Fueled by ambition and arrogance, Hitler decided to seize power. On November 8, 1923, he and his followers stormed a beer hall in Munich, shouting that a revolution had begun. But the police opened fire. 16 Nazis died. Hitler fled, then was arrested. In prison, he found something more powerful than a gun, a pen. There, he wrote Mein Kampf, My Struggle. It was a manifesto of hate and revenge, a blueprint for domination. Few read it seriously then. But the world should have. Years passed. The Great Depression shattered Germany's economy. People lost jobs, homes, and hope. Hitler returned, promising everything they longed for: pride, prosperity, revenge. He said, "I will make Germany great again." And people believed him. In 1933, he was appointed Chancellor. Within months, democracy died. The Reichstag burned, and Hitler blamed his enemies. He suspended civil rights, silenced the press, and arrested opponents. Germany was no longer a republic. It was the Third Reich. He became Der Führer, the leader. And the world changed forever. Once in power, Hitler built a nation of obedience. Everywhere, banners, swastikas, marching boots. Children sang his name. Teachers taught his ideology. He created the Gestapo, the secret police who watched, listened, and punished. The Jews were the first to suffer. Their businesses were boycotted, their homes attacked, their rights stripped away. By 1938, the night of broken glass, Kristallnacht, shattered any illusion of safety. Windows smashed, synagogues burned, families beaten in the streets. And the world? The world watched, and did nothing. Hitler's hunger couldn't be satisfied. He remilitarized the Rhineland, annexed Austria, and demanded Czechoslovakia. Each time, the world gave in, hoping peace could be bought with compromise. But peace was never his goal. In September 1939, he invaded Poland. And the world finally said, enough. World War II had begun. Germany's war machine crushed Europe with lightning speed, blitzkrieg. In weeks, Poland fell. In months, France was conquered. Hitler stood atop the world. He dreamed of an empire that would last 1,000 years. But dreams built on blood never last long. Behind the front lines, something monstrous was happening. Trains rumbled toward camps, Auschwitz, Treblinka, Sobibor. Men, women, and children were herded like cattle. Hitler's final solution had begun, the systematic extermination of Europe's Jews. 6 million innocent lives, gone. The Holocaust wasn't just a tragedy. It was humanity's deepest scar. And still, Hitler pressed on. He invaded the Soviet Union in 1941, believing he could destroy them quickly. But Russia's winter fought back. Thousands of German soldiers froze, starved, and died. The tide was turning. By 1944, the Allies closed in from both sides, the Americans and British from the west, the Soviets from the east. Cities burned. Bombs rained on Berlin. Hitler's empire crumbled. His generals begged him to surrender. He refused. He blamed everyone, his commanders, his people, even the German nation itself. By April 1945, the Red Army surrounded Berlin. In a bunker beneath the city, Hitler lived his final days, surrounded not by glory, but by fear and delusion. He married his longtime mistress, Eva Braun, in a brief, quiet ceremony. A day later, on April 30, 1945, Adolf Hitler took his own life. His empire died with him. Outside, Berlin was a wasteland, the heart of the Reich reduced to rubble. Germany surrendered days later. The war was over, but the world would never be the same. Millions were dead. Europe lay in ruins. The concentration camps were liberated, revealing horrors too great to comprehend. The Nuremberg trials began, and for the first time in history, justice was served for crimes against humanity. As the truth of Hitler's atrocities emerged, the world asked, how did one man have such power? How could millions follow him into madness? The answer: fear, desperation, and blind faith. Hitler wanted to be remembered as a hero who saved Germany. Instead, he became the face of evil, a warning carved into history. His empire of hate burned to dust, but his lesson remains. Because tyranny doesn't begin with bombs or tanks. It begins with words, with fear, with division, with the promise of greatness at the cost of compassion. And so, the rise and fall of Hitler is more than history. It's a mirror. A reflection of how easily light can turn to darkness, if humanity forgets to question, to feel, to care. The man who dreamed of ruling the world died alone in a bunker. The empire he built with hate vanished in smoke. But the voices of those he destroyed still echo through time. The rise and fall of Adolf Hitler reminds us, evil doesn't come suddenly. It grows, slowly, silently, in the hearts of men who stop seeing others as human. And when the world forgets that lesson, darkness rises again.